part of my hopefulness about this present moment comes from the obvious collapse of the left, but more than the left, this kind of kingdom of imagination that they've built up. You know, as an artist, as a guy who's worked my whole life in the arts, I have a certain way of looking at things, and I sometimes think the entire difference between good and evil is whether humans decide to live in God's creative imagination, which is the world, or they decide to live in their own imagination, which is this selfish, perverted, kind of ugly place that actually will turn your inner life and possibly your outer life into hell on earth. And I think that, you know, that's why they want to suck us into this metaverse that they're creating. They want us to live without touching each other, without seeing each other, without dealing with anything but our own imagination, instead of living in God's imagination, which is this body. This, I am a mortal man and you are a mortal woman, and we are going to love one another as men and women as we were made. That is the world that God created, and living in that world, you actually become more creative and more original. Now, I got to start talking about this, not just before with Jussie Smollett. Before I get to Smollett, I have to start talking with what I thought was the funniest moment of the week, which was Hillary Clinton was on the Today Show, I think it was, and she is promoting this master class. It's called How to Be Evil. I don't know what it's called, but I have no idea. And she was on the Today Show, and she read her victory speech, the speech she would have made had she won the victory. And she imagined her mother, who grew up in poverty and was abandoned by her parents, and she grew up. In her speech, she talks to her mother now that she is, in her imagination, president of the United States.
I dream of going up to her and sitting down next to her, taking her in my arms and saying, "Look at me, listen to me. You will survive. You will have a good family of your own and 3 children. And as hard as it might be to imagine, your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States."
Now, a woman's tears can melt me instantly. I don't want to be cruel, but oh, what the hell? Let's. Because those are the tears of a desiccated career criminal who sold out every piece of honor and self-respect for power. She stuck in a marriage that was a farce and a charade. She hoped that she was going to ride this other guy's accomplishments, and there he did have accomplishments, to the presidency, and she was humiliated in one of the greatest public humiliations in history. And now she's crying because she saw herself as a hero, but she was revealed to be what she is. And she is living in this media world that keeps telling her, yes, you are what you imagine yourself to be. But surprise, we all imagine ourselves to be heroes. But those of us who are Christians have a mirror. We have a mirror called Jesus Christ, and we think, oh, I thought I was a hero. I'm actually a schmuck. But they don't have that mirror. What they have is the media telling them that imaginary heroism that they're playing out is real. Which brings us to Jussie Smollett. All right, we'll get back to that in a moment. But first, look what I got. You're going to love these. These are Kamikoto knives and cutware. I really do like nice cutware, and this is beautiful. Kamikoto makes great Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Japan. It comes in this great ashwood box. They only use steel that comes from mills in Japan. Absolutely beautiful and not that expensive either. It really is, you can really get good deals in this. Kamikoto is currently having a massive sale. You can get an additional $50 off any purchase you make with discount code Klavan. Click the link below or go to kamikoto.com/Klavan and use promo code Klavan to save an extra $50 today. These are really nice. They're really beautiful, and you can get them on the cheap if you use that code Klavan. Bet you want to know, right? How do you spell Klavan? Ha! Ha! Would I tell you? Yeah, I'll tell you. It's Klavan. There are no E's in Klavan. I just make it look this easy. One of the things that's so sad about this is, first of all, the guy's a talented guy. I watched the first couple of seasons of Empire, and he was talented and charming and appealing and could sing. And I noticed him. I mean, I thought, like, wow, he could be a star. It used to be that actors, who are always kind of half-assed human beings, they used to aggrandize themselves by playing heroes. They would go on TV and play cops and play soldiers. He wanted to play a victim. He thought that was going to make him a hero. He pretended that these 2 muscle-bound friends of his attacked him in Chicago, shouting, "This is MAGA country." So not only were they hateful, they were also lost because they were in Chicago. And, This is so again, and all the politicians showed up, and I'm not going to go through all the tweets. I'm sure all the other hosts have shown you all the tweets about the politicians. Oh, what a terrible hate crime! What an America we live in! This America of evil, this America of racism, and all this. They jumped on the bandwagon. NBC got this exclusive interview with Robin Roberts, is cut 17.
There is no doubt in your mind what motivated this attack.
I could only go off of their words. I mean, who says empire, this MAGA country, ties a noose around your neck and pours bleach on you?
A guy you hired to do that. That's who does it. And I also want to show that the fact that the media gives them this world of the imagination, they also have their own world of the imagination where they think they're doing great. Here's the way they talk about this.
That's the first time he's given a detailed account, an account that Chicago police have said has been consistent. He hasn't changed his story. They also said it's credible. Police have said that, and also that he has been very cooperative. He was very clear about the reasons why he sat down. It's been 2 weeks since that night in Chicago, and we talked for about an hour, and there's so much more of the interview that's going to be on Nightline.
You show the whole thing?
Just about all of it, yeah. It's the whole half hour of Nightline.
It really is.
Very powerful. Great job, Robin.
Heck of a job, Robin. Heck of a job, Robin. So, the cops start to realize that this hate crime against a gay black man was totally fabricated. The prosecutor tries to protect him, tries to dump the case, but gets caught doing it, and they finally have to put him on trial. And the saddest part of this, I thought, was that this doofus, this guy who could have had a great career, could have been an American star, we all would have admired him, he was really, like I said, a very talented guy. He takes the stand because he thinks that he can win the jury over. At first I thought, why would you take the stand? Because now you're committing perjury as well. And the jury came out and they said, after they convicted him of 5 counts of lying about this stuff, the jury said that really ticked them off. They were really ticked off that not only did he try to get away with this hoax, but he stood there in the court under oath and lied to their faces. They were really angry about that. And he says, these two brothers, these two muscle brown brothers, we didn't have a relationship where I paid them to attack me. We just would go to clubs together and masturbate together. So it was a completely wholesome relationship. But it was also this incredible entitlement. This is the thing. They don't know we see them. They think that they are so contained in this, meta imaginary world that they're in that we don't see them, right? They think there are no consequences. When the prosecutor, Dan Webb, started to cross-examine him, the guy fights back. He starts getting snarky with the guy. At one point, Webb is reading Smollett's own texts that have the N-word in them. And Smollett says, can you spell or say the N-word out of respect for every African-American in this room? He's reading his own text, and he thinks he's going to get away with this. The judge finally has to say to him, it's not just you, Jussie. Everybody has to answer questions when they're in court. It's just amazing. But the jury returned the verdict. The jury did the same thing that they did in the Rittenhouse case. They said, look, this is a lie. You lied. Now he's up for 3 years in prison. I doubt he'll get that. I'm not sure he should get it. But, he has been penalized for what he did because the jury understood the imaginary world. Spoiler alert, the imaginary world is not the real world. All right, if you like the content here, you want to subscribe and give us a like. And if you just want to wallow in Klavan-y goodness, go to Apple Podcasts and also subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show.